Hi, my name is Caitlin Skorberg, and this is my presentation on the IBM Watson supercomputer that was used on the Jeopardy show. So the IBM Watson was a machine that was used on the Jeopardy show to determine if it could answer questions as effectively as humans are. So it went up against the two top competitors, and how it was able to do that is in the way that humans have, memory within their brains. It was pulling information from its own memory, which is essentially just this huge computer of data. So how it did this was through a learning ensemble. So it was this whole collection of combining evidence, of using specialized models by, determining the type of question, and then the repetition of predictive analysis until this was found. So essentially, when the computer was able to combine all of this evidence into this computer, was able to determine exactly what question it is. So that could be a STEM question, an arts question, a question about books, stuff like that. And then it went through the process of predictive analysis to determine how confident it could be in that question. So was there the 80% chance that this question could be correct? But if there was an 85% chance that the question could be correct, then it would definitely choose the 85% question and use that as its answer. So it went through a routine of passage search, popularity, type match, temporal, and source reliability as a way to fully refine the answer it was looking for. The IBM Watson was something that was completely new and was also incredibly fast. At the beginning, it was taking 2 hours to produce a response, but that's definitely not effective when you're going against competitors on Jeopardy when they only have a few seconds to respond and a few milliseconds to press the button before the other competitors do when Alex Trebek would ask questions. So it got itself down to a 3 to 5 second range. This table up here shows the model essentially for how the IBM Watson was used, that the question would come in, and then this was the whole routine it went through, and then the answer and the confidence it had in that question was produced. So how this IBM Watson was able to store all the data was it had to be absolutely huge. There was 2,500 CPUs, and that is shown in the vast size of it. Additionally, over here, as time went on, the machine was able to work better in its routine and in its accuracy. So as you can see in the baseline how low its precision was, it definitely increased a lot, as you can see at the top in a few years later. This was because of the changing of algorithms and just the increase of data that the machine had. The machine is not perfect. It definitely has limitations. Number one, it's not human. For better or for worse, it isn't a human. So it's not able to understand language as well. So it struggles a little bit with humor and puns and weird wording of questions, which is the whole premise of Jeopardy. There are definitely some weirdly worded questions to ensure that, or answers, so that a question that is the answer can be asked. It also lacks self-confidence, again, for better or for worse. It gives a numerical confidence, but there's definitely, it doesn't have the limitation of the emotional self-confidence that humans have. It is also inconsistent. That's also something that humans are, but that's just a limitation that it has. And again, for better or for worse, it does not have emotion. Some people could see that as a benefit, some people can see that as a drawback, but it still is just an overall limitation that the IBM Watson has. And to the right, there's questions that it has gotten wrong. So for the first one, give a Brit a tinkle when you get into town and you've done this. Watson said urinate, but the correct answer was to call on the phone. So again, it's not 100% correct. It does have its inconsistencies. And just the struggling with the wording. So it heard tinkle and it immediately went through its system and urinate came out. As humans, we can understand why it would have gotten that question, or why it would have gotten that result, or the question of what is urinate, but it is still the incorrect response. Additional limitations are computer errors. As mentioned before, it isn't always correct. An example of this is rhyming term for a hit below the belt. Watson said, "What is wang bang?" But the correct answer is actually, "What is low blow?" Additionally, after Jeopardy, it went into a program with the MD Anderson Cancer Center, where it was working with the Oncology Center to better synthesize and analyze doctors' notes. But because it wasn't straight structured data, it really, really struggled with that. And the whole plan ended up actually becoming a failure, and they stopped before it actually was able to have any benefits or any results from the program. And because of that, it had very high costs. The MD Anderson program put in $62 million. So considering that it was a failure, they were out $62 million. So it is a very, very costly technological innovation. There are definitely many concerns. These 4 were actually shared by the UN, and I completely agree with them. Number 1 is autonomy. Will we lose control of AI? Will it become something that is above us? Ken Jennings did joke around that he, welcomed the new robot overlords, and that is a funny joke, but it also is a very serious concern. Is will AI get to a point where it's able to overcome human power and human ability? Number 2 is privacy. AI runs on data, and that data comes from everywhere on the internet. And it's trying to determine how much information that we can give to AI, and if there's a better way to keep privacy so that not all of our information is being shared. Number 3 is AI bias. It is well known that humans are biased, so the information that is providing to these machines is also biased. So it's important to continue to keep that human element to try to mitigate the biases within it by reading the results from AI and trying to determine if there is a bias within it. Number 4 is the removal of human work. There's no longer, there's jobs that there's no longer a need for them because of AI, because of machines. So there's the potential concern of job losses. My concluding remarks on this is that there's pros and cons to the IBM Watson machine and the AI that is continued after that. The pros of it is that it's fun and new. There's always fun things that are coming around about new modern things, and so that keeps people on their toes and seeing what's new and all that. Number 2 is it's completely innovative. A society can only develop based off of innovations. A stagnant society does not develop, it does not grow. So it's incredibly important to have new innovations. And number 3 is that's the removal of human error. Jokingly, I included Homer Simpson, but that is a really big thing to consider. Is there's issues that have come in the past because of human error. So if we're able to remove that with the help of AI, that's incredibly important. There definitely are cons. There is a lot of fear of what is next. When will it work beyond humans, and will it remove the human element? This image from TEDx, it kind of shows a little bit of the fear of AI, where AI is below humans in the 5th image, and then the 6th one, it's about average with humans, and then the 7th one, it's just AI. So while that is, hopefully never comes to be, or at least well into the far future, that is still definitely something that it could be considered a con. And then over here as well, I think it's the understanding that people are falling into glorifying this whole idea of AI, but also understanding humans and AI are not equivalent, that they definitely should not be used in place of each other. So I believe that the ideal use is human work with the AI component. I think the IBM Watson is amazing, and I like the idea that it was being used with the MD Anderson Oncology Center. So I think keeping that balance between the two is really important, showing that there's all those humans on the left and only one AI on the right. I'm totally okay with that. I think that there should be a balance between that to ensure that those concerns that I shared in the previous slides are hopefully not come to true. Here are my references. Thank you.